Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedoms of the Nest, freedomsphoenix.com here at the farm. Yeah, I got to do that for Brock, man. He you know, because I can. I just got a phone call. I just talked to Pasha Roberts of Silver Circle Movie. They're going to participate in the magazine, too, and have a lot of links, and we'll embed video and do it. Y'all go, oh, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And we're going to be doing some overlap and some stuff at Pork Fest. I'm going to be going to Pork Fest because I can't. We worked it out and kind of whatever the guys will let me sleep in, you know, the spot there, because they're like, you know, we don't want Dad to come, that old fogey Ernie, but, you know, they're going to let me come and hang, and we'll have some fun, and we're going to promote, and I'll participate in some stuff. This movement has been inspired by the foundations of a lot of efforts that came before. And there are a lot of people, I'm sure, that educated and informed Terry Bressi. I mean, you know, he didn't just, have the paper and the book sitting there in the truck with him, you know, and he goes, this seems illegal. I mean, you know, there's some information that he had prior and knew what questions to ask. Now, we'll get to that in a minute, but I want to bring this part up since we're going to be able to spend some extra time with you. There was an incident that you were involved in to kind of demonstrate your character when you were at the University of Arizona. And what happens is now with all this, you know, Facebook, social networking, Twitter, and favorite friend picture of everybody I know kind of email crap that the CIA and everybody else has, NSA's got on us now anyway, they can kind of, we know where the troublemakers are. We just go round them all up. Well, one of those guys is definitely Terry. Tell us about the incident that you had where the university was collecting data on the students and you caused a ruckus then, because it tells people the kind of person that you challenges.
Sure. I try to do, when I challenge authority, I try to do it as responsibly as possible and do my research, do my due diligence, get all my facts together, and then present my case, in a reasonable fashion. And at the University of Arizona, back in the mid to late 1990s, they were recarding everybody. Okay, they were issuing new identification cards. When I was at first at the university, they just had these kind of analog cards, with basic analog picture and your affiliation and the dates that the card is valid for, and a signature from the president of the university. A pretty simple thing. There is no magnetic stripe that contained information on the back. There are no microchips on them. There's no digitized images that were being stored in databases or digitized, signatures or that sort of thing. So it was pretty straightforward and was only being used within the University of Arizona confines, so that when you went to the library, you went to another department or whatnot, and you needed to access resources, then, it was used the way a proper ID card should be used. But that wasn't enough for them. They were starting to realize that, hey, we got all these vendors around here. They all want access to university personnel and student information, and we want to advertise and get, services and all these other things. We can't do that, with the current arrangement. So we need to recard everybody. We need to create a database of everybody with all this personally identifiable information. And we need to force it down the University of Arizona's throats. So in 96, 97, they were recarding the CAT card, is what they were calling it. And what they wanted you to do was you had to go into the CAT card office, stand in front of a camera, digital camera, would take your picture, store it in a database. You'd have to make a digital signature, so they'd store your signature in a database as well. They would issue you the 16-number ISO number, which would be used universally for credit cards and bank accounts and long-distance phone services and any number of other ways. And they wanted you to sign up for the service and not give you an option to say no. So that once you went in for your new CAT card and did all these things, they actually had an agreement in place that you had to sign in order to get this mandatory credit card, or not credit card, but it might as well have been one, this mandatory card that relieved the university of any responsibility for the misuse of your information. So you showed up, you had your picture taken, you signed a release form that you were required to do, and all your information was shared with Saguaro Credit Union, because the university was making money from Saguaro Credit Union for every student who opened an account using their CAT card. The university would get kickbacks from the credit union. They were working with MCI long-distance services, so everyone who made a phone call using their CAT card, which was also serving dual purpose as a long-distance phone card, the university was getting a kickback for every phone number that was called, and the university was freely sharing all the information associated with students, faculty, and staff in their database, all these other vendors, without your knowledge or permission. They were also storing it on a magnetic stripe, so they had your social security number, your date of birth, your sex, your affiliation with the University of Arizona, phone numbers, other contact information on a magnetic stripe, and this embedded microchip in the CAT card. So all that information was freely available. Every time you swiped your card through a reader or whatnot, all that information would be downloaded and stored with a third-party for-profit commercial vendor. And the university was directly profiting from all of these efforts. Well, none of this information was publicly known at the time that they were going through the CAT card recarding. When my time came up to go to the office and be recarded, I decided that I was going to conduct a little experiment. So me and a coworker, we called up MCI and we said, hey, look, we see from the online site here that when we get a new CAT card, we'll be able to use that CAT card for long-distance services. And so how does that happen? And they said, well, all you need to do is provide us with the last 4 digits of your social security number so that we can verify that you're affiliated with the University of Arizona. So we said, well, geez, we've never done business with you before. If we haven't, then how would you be able to validate the last 4 digits of our social security number with the full number if we've never done business with you before? And they said, oh, well, the university has already provided us with that information. Okay.
Yep.
So we gathered together all that information. We walked down to where the carding was taking place. We asked to talk to the person in charge of the recarding, and we said, look, we've done this research. It looks like the university, without our knowledge or consent, has shared all sorts of very personal information that can be used by people of ill repute to steal our identities and put us in jeopardy. And oh, by the way, it looks like in order to get this mandatory card, we have to release you from liability for sharing our information without our consent with third-party commercial vendors.
Which you already did.
Which they already did. And the response, I mean, to this day, I remember the response. There's 2 responses that really got my goat there. The first one was that, oh, yes, we're aware that there is an issue, but our attorneys are looking into how to make it legal.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Right, exactly. And, we went on back and forth with the person in charge there, and you could tell she was getting a little bit irritated with us, that we weren't just going along to get along. And after about 10 minutes, she said, look, only about 10 people out of 20,000 have complained about this so far. And she said, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. So
you raised your hand, you said squeak? I mean, what?
I said, at this stage, I said, okay, thank you very much for your time. And I realized I wasn't going to go anywhere, just trying to talk, logic and sense into the person in charge there. So I said, well, she just gave me the information I needed on what I needed to do to fix this problem. She told me that I needed to make the wheel squeak. So me and my coworker went back to our offices, and we sat down. We both composed an email with all the information that we had just gleaned, and we sent it out to everybody in our department and another department. Within minutes, I was getting phone calls and email responses of people that were irate and had no idea what the university was doing with their personal information.
Okay, now this is what the lesson we get from this. One, Terry's not the guy you want to be messing with. And the other thing, this has been going on for a long time. You know, when we were the young guys, this was going on. Your real ID is not a card, it's a database. Your face is your ID. They just get a picture of you a long distance, mile away, boom. They already know everything. And this is how it started. It started way before, without your consent, without your knowledge. Oh, when we come back, we'll connect all of this into the Fourth Amendment and the roadblocks. You guys stay right there. This is more information I know you need to know. Here on Declare Your Independence. We'll be right back. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the mainstream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.